have more developments today in the Beaver Dam apartment explosion.
Officials are holding a news conference right now to bring us up to date on their plan to burn the complex down, so let's join it live.
In Spring and 151. The other one will be Spring Street between Industrial and Woodland. 151 will be open. And later, if you'd like to take pictures of the maps, you're more than welcome to do that. Regarding the investigation, I've been in contact with the FBI within the last 2 hours. Regarding this investigation, the investigation into the original event is still ongoing. The Beaver Dam Police Department has the lead on the investigation, and we are being supported by the FBI. As you know, we had an explosion that occurred on March 5. There was dangerous, high volatile materials were found in the affected apartments, and they present a large risk to the public, which is why we are taking the steps to render this building safe through thermal destruction on Wednesday. Something else that's important. Please quote me carefully. No known link to terrorism at this time, but we are still investigating. Understandably, there's been a lot of concerns in the identity of the deceased. The reason we have not released the name of the deceased is because a positive identification has not been readily available due to the circumstances of the situation. Also, when talking to the FBI, we described the material as dangerous bomb-making material, and it's embedded into the insulation and building material. Reference to the incident, we believe this incident was single in nature, but remember, it's still an ongoing investigation. At this time, I'll turn it over to the Fire Chief, Al Mantle, to give a statement.
Thank you. My name is Alan Mantle. I'm the Fire Chief of the City of Beaver Dam. As you know, we are finalizing plans into our operation for Wednesday, which involves intentionally igniting the building at 109 Village Glen Apartments. With an operation of this magnitude and complexity, as you can expect, to be assured that we are putting all possible precautions in place, as well as planning for the unexpected. Specifically, as the police chief already mentioned, we are closing roads in the area starting at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. No cars will be allowed in after 9 a.m. We anticipate reopening those roads to traffic at some point in the evening. We cannot give you an exact time. When roads are reopened, it'll be posted on the Beaver Dam Police Department's Facebook page. We are also putting a mandatory evacuation in place for the apartment buildings in the complex, which includes buildings 103, 105, 107, 111, and 113. Again, when the evacuation is lifted, it'll be posted on the Beaver Dam Police Department's Facebook page. Amy?
My name is Amy Nails, and I am the Director of Dodge County Emergency Management. We know that everyone is concerned for the families directly impacted by this event. As you know, Building 109 at the Village Glen will be intentionally burned down on Wednesday, and no one is allowed to enter the Building 109, not residents, not even police or fire personnel. There are 15 families that have been impacted and displaced and will lose all of their belongings. Each of these families has been assigned a team from Dodge County Human Services and Public Health, and they are being also supported by St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army, American Red Cross, and other local organizations. An account for monetary donations has been opened to assist the residents of Building 109. Donations can be made at Dodge County Horicon Banks, and the name of the account is the Dodge County COAD, which is COAD/Beaver Dam Apartments. Any non-monetary donations can be taken to St. Vincent de Paul or the American National Bank. This concludes first of all, we would like to thank you for attending today and let you know that we aren't anticipating any new information by tomorrow, but we will be available here tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. to answer any questions And on Wednesday, we will be available at 4 p.m. out at the press area by the Farm and Fleet gas station, and we'll be available for comments and information then. We want to thank you again for attending, and this concludes our prepared statements, so we're now ready to take questions. Please, one second. Please remember that we aren't going to comment on the investigation, but we will answer your other questions as best as possible.
Do you know how much money's been raised so far?
As of this morning, I called the bank, and we have reported as of 11 a.m. this morning that there is $4,444 in the account as donations so far. So thank you to everyone who has donated to our residents in Building 109.
Chief, question for you. This isn't regarding the investigation, but as far as the person that was in the apartment, you're saying you have a hard time IDing them, but you must know who lived in the apartment. Do you think that was the person who did die?
I talked to the FBI this morning about that, and we'd like to get that information out as soon as possible. And we understand your concern with the deceased, but we have to be 100% sure, and we have to make sure that we have identified this person. Until then, we cannot make any correlation at this time between the deceased and whether or not he is the actual renter of that.
And you say it was single and it wasn't terrorism, so was this an experiment gone wrong? What was the nature of this explosion?
I can't comment on that. We're being assisted by the FBI. So any comments that relate to the investigation, I would like to talk to the FBI and make sure that there isn't something that we're jeopardizing this case. So I try to get as much as I can today. When I spoke a couple hours to them, trying to get you the most updated information, and I don't have any new, and I'm sorry, but it's an ongoing investigation. So.
Chief, in allowing the chemicals that are in the building, how do your guys take precautions as you start this thing?
We are limiting the access to the area to only essential personnel. There'll be 3 command staff. We anticipate having 5 or 6 fire trucks in the inner perimeter, and they'll be staffed with only the pump operator.
Do you anticipate other departments helping?
Yes, we have a plan in place, and we are calling for assistance from our neighboring departments, and so far we will have 20 other fire departments.
This is continuing live coverage from the update of the situation of the explosion in Beaver Dam. Our Keely Arthur there. Still a lot of questions not being answered. We did learn today, though, that residents of 109 cannot go back into their apartment and get their personal belongings.
And still no identification of the person who died in the explosion.
And Keely will have more on this coming up tonight on News 3 at 5.